How's it going, people? Welcome back to AFTV and welcome back to the warm-up. Massive game, lunchtime kickoff Saturday at the Etihad against Manchester City. How are we feeling, boys?
Yeah, good. It's summer on my end of things.
And winter over here.
Yeah.
We've got a jumper
Are
and
you
a bomber
alright?
jacket.
Yeah,
and
listen, I
shorts
like
this
to
side.
stay warm. I can't trust this English weather, man.
18, 19 degrees doesn't do it for you.
Yeah, it might change up, James. You know, it could be snowing by the afternoon. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
Probably won't be, but you know, fine.
But he's ready for it.
Yeah,
I'm ready, at least I'm prepared, you know?
Fair enough.
Exactly.
Are you
that.
ready if it snows later?
Ask him again. Look at them
I'm
in the
the
shorts.
real
Yeah. Who look like the
loser
fool
here.
then?
Yeah, well, what an idiot. Yeah.
Now all the laughing and joking is out of the way. We move on to Manchester City.
Yeah. How am I feeling about that? If I'm honest, I'm a little bit more confident after what I saw against West. Why are you looking at me like that?
Bro, I need to look at you on the host, fam.
Yeah,
I need
but
to look at you.
you
Don't
look-
take my
listen.
look as an opinion. I'm just looking at you. You
Alright.
said a bit more confident.
Yeah, I'm a bit more confident. Obviously, the 6-0. I know it's the West Brom B team, whatever. I don't care. Like Aubameyang scoring a hat trick does a world of good for his confidence, and he needs to be on fire come Saturday. And I think that's the answer really to us getting a result. If he's on fire and we can defend well, do I think we're going to win the game?
We're going to get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into that later. But right now, no. But you know,
On the
there's
West Brom game, I get you, because at the end of the day, we started the season 2 games, no goals, and the West Brom game was pretty much a lose-lose outside looking in a
Yeah.
sense where, you know, everyone would banter us if we lose, but if we win, it's, it's expected, it's West Brom, it's their B team. But the bare minimum I wanted was a performance, the bare minimum I wanted was goals,
Yep.
the bare minimum I wanted was Oba and Laka on the score sheet. If Laka came on, obviously that was for doubt before.
That did happen though, yeah.
It all happened. Pepe scored 2, a clean sheet on top of that. James, what's your thoughts leading into the Man City game off the back of that game? Can we take much from it?
No, listen, we can't. That's the reality. We can't. What we can hope for is that Arsenal, being a team that don't create a lot of chances, as it is, and we're playing Man City, which means they're going to limit you even more. And we will get 1 or 2 chances, because the nature of football is that, you know, you're going to find yourself near their goal or with a set piece or whatever. We hope that when that moment comes, Aubameyang's feeling a bit more confident, or Lacazette, if he's there, feeling a bit more confident, and they back themselves and they take the opportunity. And conviction was something Arteta talked about a lot in his press conference, which we'll chat about in a bit. So that's kind of the main thing I take from it. Just that, as Cecil touched on it, it's going to do a world of good for Aubameyang's confidence. But I just think even just a 1 goal against City would just do so much more. So hopefully when that opportunity comes, he takes it.
100%, because I think, you know, we'll get a couple opportunities, but we need Oba and Laka to, you know, be in confident form, good morale going into it. And hopefully, because I agree with you, there's not much we can take from the West Brom game, but hopefully at least those 2 and Pepe maybe have a bit more confidence.
Do you know what, Turkish, as well? Do you know what else was telling in that West Brom game? You could see the players that weren't really at it for Arsenal as well, because everyone keeps saying it's their B team. So I was really focusing on players that aren't basically outshining the West Brom team. And there was some players I thought, well, if you can't play at this level, you can't outshine players at this level against West Brom, then I have a worry for you. And I'll get into it later. But yeah, there's some players I was like,
And I think it's
That's an
contrasting
interesting point.
halves as well. I think the first half, you know, we scored 3 in either half, but the first half was 3 scrappy goals, you know, maybe lucky to be on the end of them, but we'd done our job. The second half, it seemed like we opened up a bit more. We was a bit more confident with the transition.
Facts.
We was flowing a bit better. You saw the Odegaard Saka goal, you saw Oba's goal.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of picked up a level.
It did.
And I'm hoping we can, you know, continue a little with that confidence. I know the level against Man City is completely different, but at least confidence-wise, use that same confidence you gained from the West Brom game and at least go in with some sort of fight, because we haven't saw that against Brentford or Chelsea yet.
And it should just get us into good habits.
Yeah.
You know, where you pass the ball, where you're looking to give the ball when you get it. You know, too often we're too predictable. At least we did different things.
Yeah.
We know the level of opposition, but as I said, good habits is the main.
Let's talk about Man City a bit. You know, obviously Man City started the season with a loss to Tottenham. And when that happened, I said to myself, well, Man City to drop points in 2 of their first 3 games is highly unlikely. So now they've dropped 3 points, 1 game already.
yeah.
I just look at it like our chances are slim. They backed that up with a 5-0 against Norwich, I believe.
yeah.
Grealish got a goal. Obviously, their big summer signing. What more we got to say about City, James?
Well, I mean, worth talking about them sort of from an analytical point of view, because analytical
Yeah, that sounded so.
analysis. I don't know what the word to use there is. They don't have a striker. That's the big headline at the moment. Obviously, with everything going on with Cristiano Ronaldo, I don't know. By the time you're watching this, he might be holding that City shirt up. But we thought that they might have Kane in by this game. They don't. And what that means is they're still trying to find the answer. Now, a lot of last season, the answer was De Bruyne as the kind of false nine dropping into midfield. But the point is they were very fluid, whether it was Foden, Mahrez, whoever popping up in those positions.
Do you not think, sorry to cut you, do you not think it's unfair on Gabriel Jesus? Obviously, he's the number. I know he's not, they do play without a striker, but is it unfair to say they haven't got, I know it's an unrecognised striker, because he is.
It's unfair to say they don't have a striker, because you're right, they do. Gabriel Jesus plays up front, but he doesn't start. And Ferran Torres can play up front. He's a bit like, quite comparable to, I'm trying to think, when we had Gervinho, who played on the left and right, but could play up front. So he's a bit like that, but obviously much better. They're trying to work solutions, but I think where Arsenal could benefit, and you never wish injury on anyone, but obviously with De Bruyne being out, you've not got what their kind of number one choice for a false nine is. You've got him out, but also you don't have him in midfield. Now, one thing I'll say about City, and they might well batter us on the weekend, I don't fear City even half as much when I look at their team and they don't have David Silva and Kevin De Bruyne in midfield. There's something about them I just felt they were unstoppable. You couldn't get the ball off them. So they found solutions in Gundogan and Jack Grealish, who started, I've got it here, started in midfield against Spurs, which was interesting. But what Spurs did really well against City in that opening game, I hate praising them, but I've got to give them credit. Do you know what? I'm not going to praise Spurs. I'll praise Nuno Espirito Santo, because I don't really hate him yet. What Nuno did really well, he stuck with a back four, and that's something we're going to talk about later, what our 11s would be. I think what he did is he proved you don't have to have a back three to be tight and stop the passing lanes in midfield and keep it condensed in central midfield. What he did was, by having a really flat midfield three where he played Dele Alli, typically a number 10, typically someone who runs in beyond or plays as like a second striker, played him as a central midfielder with Skip, and I think it was Højbjerg as well, and they kept it really tight and made sure that they were forcing City out wide. City were playing in a very comparable way to Arsenal when they don't have their luck up front, and when it's not really not working going forward, they're putting kind of hopeful crosses into the box. They're trying to engineer situations out wide, and actually without having a real left back there, because I think Zinchenko's been playing there. They've not really had that solution. Who else has played? I mean, Mendy started the first game. He's not aware, but Cancelo's played there. So it's interesting, they don't really have a solution there, so forcing them sort of into wide areas. We know Walker likes to come quite central of late, he's not one who bombs on forward. I think what Arsenal need to do, whether it's a back three or a midfield three, is keep it really condensed. Like, make sure you're forcing them wide into areas where, okay, it's still Mahrez picking up the ball, it's still Sterling, but they've got a lot more to do to cause you problems. So it's going to be interesting to see what their solution is to that striking situation. I think it'll be Ferran Torres up front. It could be Gabriel Jesus, who does all right against Arsenal.
It's Foden's fit,
I'm not sure about Foden.
I haven't seen Foden. I haven't seen him since
he didn't start against Norwich either. But the thing about City here is Jack Grealish started central midfield against Spurs, comes in to the left against Norwich, and then they've got Ferran Torres and Gabriel Jesus in the front three as well. And there's goals there. So
is that the last? Is that the Norwich
that's
game?
their 11 they had against Norwich.
Do you have the bench there or
Bernardo, not here at the moment,
cool.
but they've got Bernardo Silva and Gundogan in midfield with Rodri. And also, it seems that he doesn't really know whether Rodri or Fernandinho is his guy at the moment. So, questions about City at the moment, how they're going to line up. And I think all I'll say is I feared City more when I knew it's going to be Fernandinho, De Bruyne, Silva, and it's going to be Sterling, Aguero, Sane, and it's balanced, and I know exactly what they're going to do. Whereas with City, this idea of them not knowing what's going to come might sound like a reason to be scared of them. I think it tells me that Guardiola doesn't quite know what he wants to do either, and that might play in our hands.
Yeah, because I don't think they've had a good enough transfer window right now. Like you said, they're missing a few players, one through injury and a couple who have left the side. David Silva, even Sergio Aguero we haven't talked about. And I just feel like just the Jack Grealish sign doesn't really plug all the holes that they need to plug. So I think Guardiola needs to juggle. But they've got many danger men.
Right, talking about
the
danger man. They got, I'm going to go with maybe not a fan favourite, but someone I think not people are talking about. I know James is a big fan of him, but Riyad Mahrez, I think, has been in exceptional form. I actually think Riyad Mahrez has been underrated in his time in the Premier League.
Thank you.
You like that, James?
This guy for me is world class and has been for a while.
I agree.
And I don't think he gets the respect he deserves. And I don't know why that is. But
I think him and Sterling, if I'm honest, I think Sterling doesn't get enough. When I talk about Sterling, people disagree with me on how much I rate him. But again, Riyad Mahrez is definitely one that he doesn't get enough respect for what he's doing.
Is it a consistency thing? Is it the way he left Leicester? Was there even anything controversial about the way he
not
left
a first
Leicester?
I think when
choice,
he
though,
first came
like-
into City, I think Pep's got this habit of, maybe having a star signing and not bringing him in
Yeah.
consistently until
Right.
a year or
Right.
so later.
Yeah, I
agree.
And I
agree.
think that
Yeah.
first year that Morris had, a lot of people dismissed him. Oh, he's just, he's rotation and he's going to
Yeah.
help their squad depth. But then we saw over the last couple seasons,
He's been
last season in particular, he picks it up, he scores vital
9
goals.
goals.
He's-
Left,
Night,
right,
yeah.
you don't know which way
So
he's
he's
going to
gonna
go.
go.
Yeah, he
Nine
gets
goals.
good balls into the box. He causes big problems.
9 goals.
And he's won the
6
league with
assists
2
last
different
season.
clubs. How many
Yeah.
players can say that?
That's very true.
you can't,
That's
yeah.
very true. And I think Kieran Tierney will have a big job against him.
No, 100%.
I think he will, especially off the back of the Chelsea game. I think Tierney, it's going to be a battle there because a lot of people said he was at fault for many of the goals against Chelsea. I think he's going to have to. It's going to be something we're going to watch. A key battle, shall we say?
Yeah,
a
key battle.
will
Come
be-
on,
be
come on.
Riyad Mahrez and
That
big
is
up
a key
Turkish
battle.
fans.
That
It is.
And I think key for us on the attacking side would be Saka on the right against, like you said, Zinchenko, Cancelo, or whatever makeshift, left back they
It could
sort
be
out.
Ake or Laporte, quite frankly. He likes to put one of the centre-backs out there.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. But
Should we move-
Arteta.
Yeah, let's talk about his press conference. So we covered it on Straight Out Colney. If you want to sort of see sort of the main highlights, go check that out. But I think what was interesting, he talked about the team being, and I really highlighted this on the show, being fully committed, fully prepared, and what was the word he used? Conviction. He said they need to show conviction. Now, for me, and I won't go into it too much, so I mentioned on the show, but the team being fully committed, he's right. The players got to go out there and give. We've all played in games where you're up against it and you pull something out just because you worked harder than the other team. There's got to be an element of that. Being fully prepared is on Arteta. We're going to talk about 11s, but that was something he got wrong. Tactically, he got it so wrong against Chelsea.
Yep.
So that's on him. But conviction, I think, is a really interesting word because you're talking about like Aubameyang and Lacazette or Pepe or Saka, whoever it is, when they get those opportunities, you're not going to get very many, and we've got to take them. And that's one thing that I think's been really frustrating from Arsenal's perspective. We don't create a lot of chances, and we know that. But the ones we do, like against Brentford, Martinelli really should have scored from that corner.
Yeah.
There were a few moments where Xhaka running into the box, that kind of half volley one, should have scored. Like for everything. As badly as we played and the lack of this, that and the other, we had chances, we've got to take them. Now, against other teams, I'll say, yeah, but a team like Arsenal should be creating better chances more frequently. Against City, you're not going to get them. You're going to accept that you're going to be limited to a few. You've got to show conviction. Everything, and that's not just the finish. That's, you see a counter-attacking opportunity, hit that pass, get it right, with pace. Don't let City readjust too quickly.
Playing at the back with conviction will add to the chances
Make
we
a
can
tackle
create.
with conviction, press with conviction. So I think that's a really big thing. I thought that was the main takeaway.
Yeah,
from
no,
that.
I think you're right with that. The passing with conviction is the key thing, especially like I said, we're going to get into it later, but in the West Brom game, there were some players doing hospital balls, not putting their foot through it, and it slows down the play, and it's just like, come on, guys. And there was times where you're like, there's the gap, play it, put the ball through, but the players aren't brave enough to do it, and it was very telling against West Brom, and we'll talk about it later, but like I said, but the conviction is definitely a good key thing that he picked out, and well done for that,
What
James.
about some injury news? Who's got
Injury
that?
news. I've got the injury news for today. There's a few players out. One we're going to discuss at the end because I'm still confused on this. But we've got from the Arsenal website, Hector Bellerin is out. Hector Bellerin's got a right thigh problem, but he is available for selection after missing 2 matches with his thigh.
Just on that,
Go on.
so when Arteta said something about the right backs and COVID and all that, Bellerin ain't got COVID, Chambers ain't had COVID, Cedric ain't got COVID, Maitland-Niles ain't got COVID. So how can he use COVID as an excuse
I think he
for the
said
right back
I think he
situation?
said injuries and illnesses and COVID. I mean, yeah, it's all a bit of a mess. I
Yes,
wish we
it's
had more
crazy.
clarity.
That position, that
So
right
I
back
just
position.
I just thought Bellerin might have COVID, but it's a thigh
it's
strain.
a thigh strain.
Unless
Is
he's
that-
got COVID in his thigh, but I don't know what's going on.
That right back situation is a mess. Gabriel, our centre back, obviously he's still injured with his knee. He's progressing. He's back in training, but
He's playing for the under-23s today.
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
At
interesting.
the time of recording. Yeah.
I think 45 minutes he's going to get. but-
Something like that. Yeah.
Does anyone know where that is? I might go watch that.
Right now.
Oh, is it right now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Scooter's there, mate. On your bike.
Spends the rest of the show just watching the game.
Eddie Nketiah, he's got bruise on his right ankle.
Swipe up from Eddie, Crystal Palace, man.
All right. Thomas Partey, for the people want to know about him. He's still sustained a right ankle injury, ligaments. He won't be available, but he is back in training. And then lastly, I want to read this directly from the website, their quote. Ben White, He tested positive, as we know, for COVID-19 and has missed the last 2 matches. Ben's health and fitness will be continually monitored ahead of Saturday. So that, for me, is a very open... He can
That's
be
not as like binary as I thought it'd be.
Yeah.
I thought they'd say he's got COVID, he's out, he's still self-isolated, whatever.
Yeah. Everyone's
He's
available.
asymptomatic
Has
as
it
well.
come out that he had COVID?
Had COVID but asymptomatic, Arteta said.
Yeah.
Didn't have symptoms, just tested positive.
Yeah, last week they said he will not be
So
available.
he's actually,
but
if he tests negative and
He-
the
yeah, he
right
could be available.
amount of time
Today.
has passed,
Well, today it'd be.
Yeah.
he's
Because it's a lunchtime kickoff tomorrow, so he has to get
right.
tested.
So
positive
he
today.
would be eligible to play.
Or would you throw
Surely.
him in there? Yeah?
He's not had it.
Yeah, okay.
He's not had it. Yeah, we'll throw him in there if he's available.
Interesting.
But listen,
Interesting.
this is a very sensitive subject. As long as he's okay, we've heard he's asymptomatic, then and he feels well, then yes.
Has
And
any-
as long as he's following all the protocols. If that's all ticked,
Well,
yeah.
Lacazette had 1 day full training and then he
came
appeared
back.
against West Brom, so,
Has anyone put Ben White in their 11?
no.
No. I assumed he was out.
Yeah, so for now, our 11s are all based on just assuming Ben White's out.
Yeah.
But obviously, if he's in, I think all 3 of us would probably add him to the side.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
he'd
I
be-
struggled with one of the positions, and that was the position I wanted him in. But
So under 11s, who's going for James? You're ready there. Let's go to the
Well, let's
starting
rattle through
11s.
them. Leno starts in goal. Well done Ramsdale the other night, but I'm just not ready to drop him yet. I think
Yeah.
Leno's a very good
think
shot
that's
stopper.
fair.
We're going to need that. Cedric at right back, because I just think the right back situation is a mess, and I think he's the most, maybe Maitland-Niles, but Cedric's the most dynamic.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to need to be in this game. I've gone for Chambers and Marriott centre back.
Okay.
Holding's not done a lot wrong. I don't know if he's done a lot right either. And I think Chambers I think physically is just a bit,
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I'll move that,
I
I'll move
fancy him. Tierney left back. Just a word on Mari, by the way. I think the narrative's changed very drastically on Mari.
Yeah, 2 games.
A lot of people are saying, terrible footballer,
Yeah, he's
waste
not the
of
one.
money, why have we got him? He's the next clown. I strongly disagree. I think he's had a difficult start to the season. But name me many centre-backs that would have found it much easier against Lukaku. I think because Lukaku was bullying him so much, people were kind of, oh, he's had a terrible game. I thought Mari did okay. Like, it's difficult. I don't think he was set up
And Holding
right.
didn't help him much that
Holding
game.
didn't
Agreed.
help him. It was
Yeah.
all on Mari. Like, I'm not saying he played well, but listen, I think people went overboard.
Yeah, people are
with that.
going to, overstepping the line with Mari. Listen, he's an
I
8
think
million
so.
signing. He's a backup centre back, and he's really back up to Gabriel. And I think in an ideal world, I'm happy with that.
I think so too. Tierney at left back, as we know, was just a what was it? What do you call it?
Cramp. Cramp. Yeah.
Cramp in the game. Then I've gone for a flat midfield 3 because
Okay.
I'm adopting the
The
Nuno
4-3-3,
model.
yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going for Smith Rowe, El Neni as a holding midfielder, and Lokonga, a bit more box to box.
interesting.
Yeah. And then I've gone for a
Quite
front
open.
3
Yeah.
of Saka, Aubameyang, and Pepe. Pepe on the left, Saka on the right. I'm very particular about that.
That's quite an attacking lineup.
I want Pepe. Well, here's my thinking. I want Pepe up against Walker. I want Saka up against whoever their makeshift left back is. I think that works right. Aubameyang for pace and behind. We need to get there quickly. Smith Rowe to play in a flat 3 so that we've got that kind of barrier in front of the back 4, but we've got a degree of flair.
Yeah.
Lokonga for me is a holding midfielder, can play box to box. So with El Neni, I think you've got enough protection there. And what Nuno, not them lot, what Nuno did well against them, he left Lucas Moura, Son, and Bergwijn quite up the pitch, so that the counter was always on. I think we've got to.
So you want Saka in the flat midfield 3, and Saka's playing on that flat line as well, yeah?
No, he's in the front 3 with Pepe and Aubameyang.
So tell me your midfielder.
There you go. Smith Rowe, Lokonga, El Neni, and then Saka in the front 3 with Pepe and Aubameyang.
So, yeah.
And Smith Rowe on the right side of that midfield.
Yeah, just like he'd be
But
a
he slots
central
in and the other
midfielder.
2 cut in. So,
All right, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wanna go
Won't
next?
happen.
Yeah, why not? You know me, upside down. Yeah, here we go. So Leno in goal, a 3-4-3 for me again. I've gone for the.
Can we edit this lineup in upside down? Just so you know what he's having to
read
deal-
off?
Yeah.
So the 3 at the back is Tierney, Mari, Chambers.
Yeah,
Now,
Mari Chambers.
I've dropped Holding, if I'm honest, because what I saw, and this is no disrespect, but what I saw him against West Brom, and I've seen it many times, he isn't decisive when playing the ball forward. He holds onto the ball for me a bit too long, and if I'm honest, I worry about his defending. I think he got a lot of credit last season from the Arsenal fans, and for me, I didn't understand why. I think he's not the best defender. I don't think he has had a great great start to the season. And that's my worry is getting out from the back, because we're clearly playing out from the back. And every time he gets on the ball, he looks nervous, even against West Brom, their B team. So for me, he doesn't go in there. You spoke about Mari already. Tierney, I think playing the left of the centre back, left of the three, I think will work. And I think we need to match them three at the back. And then on the right wing back, I've got Cedric Suarez back in. I still think he's the best kind of fullback we have of right back position for me. I think
so too.
I really don't. I don't know why still to this day he's not playing. Tavares, left wing back. Now, I didn't think he had a great game against West Brom, and I don't know why we were so split. A lot of fans said he had a really good game, but his touch was very baggy. He looked unconfident until he was, I guess, driving forward. That's why I didn't put him in the free left centre back position.
I rated his work rate though. He was making tackles, he was getting up the pitch.
That's
he was
what everyone
causing
keeps
problems
saying.
Both sides, and that's why I like. It wasn't a great game, but it was a good.
Those
game.
are very good signs, I think.
Yeah.
But do you not expect that from a young player to be working
When you
hard?
have a team that hasn't shown that for years, you know, when a player comes in, obviously you're going to look at it like maybe you're going to rate it a bit higher than you need to, because you haven't saw it for so long. But essentially, you know, that sort of work rate we've only seen from Martinelli in recent years.
Which we expect. But I expect work rate from youngsters. But I hear what you're saying. But I put Tavares there in left wing back position. The two in midfield, Lokonga and Xhaka. Still in that midfield. Still. That's what everyone keeps telling me. Xhaka's the still. So we've got Xhaka in there. Lokonga, I think he's been great. He deserves to be starting. And then my front three is Emil Smith-Rowe on the left, Bamiyang up front, Saka on the right.
I'd be more than happy with that.
Oh, yes.
All right, what have we gone for Turkish? Oh, I had a little preview. We've got a surprise
mad.
inclusion. Go on.
That
No
is
inclusion, it's exactly the same thing.
apart from the goalkeeper.
Exactly the same thing.
But you got Ramsdale in.
Yeah, aside from that.
But otherwise, the exact same.
So mine is exactly the same. So it's a back
I'll
three,
take the L on
Chambers on the right, Tierney on the left, Mari in the middle. Reason being because Chambers and Tierney are mobile. Mari can be the leader of the three, and Holding.
It's a nice
I
balance.
never saw this,
that's how
bro.
I
This
see
is
it.
mad.
I know, that's what I was thinking in my head. Who sent this to my man?
No, good minds think alike. Hey, what happened to you?
Cedric right wing back, Tavares left wing back, Lokonga, Xhaka, Ober up top, Smith-Rowe on the left, Saka on the right.
Do you know what amazes
That's crazy,
me?
you
That
know?
you were able to read that the right way around.
It's mad, isn't it?
That's-
It's mad. Let me do
that's
Ramsdale this way.
amazing.
So
Yeah.
basically, I've selected Ramsdale in goal, and a lot of people will ask why, and it's too soon. The reason being, if we've spent that money on a keeper, if the rumours are to be believed that Leno's not signing a new contract, he might be on the way out in the next year or so, get the job done sooner rather than later.
This early,
If
Turkish,
Ramsdale's
yeah.
going to be our keeper, then get him in. Like, it's not about, this is a goalkeeper that's played in England for years now. It's a goalkeeper we spent 24 rising to 30 on. It's our most expensive goalkeeper.
Against City, so the
It's
hardest
our
competition.
It's our
and you-
most expensive goalkeeper of all time.
I've got no
I wasn't
problem with
thinking
Ramsdale
that
playing.
all
I've
the
got
time.
no
Yeah,
problem
but-
with him playing.
And I liked his, and this ain't me overrating Ramsdale, it's me saying I liked his debut against West Brom. It's only West Brom, but the club have bought him. Leno's in his last 2 years. If you want to push Leno to maybe make a decision, then show him that, you know, if you want to move, we can kick you on because we've got Ramsdale here. So I think Ramsdale starts against Man City, and I'd like to see how he performs against a big club.
It's a lot of pressure on him, but
It is, but when you know, there's a lot of pressure when you move to a big club. So
fair.
is
Score
what it is.
predictions.
score predictions. So after saying that lineup, because I don't think it will be that exact lineup.
That's the thing, and people need to remember we're making our predictions based on what Arteta's probably going to
yeah,
go
yeah.
with.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going 3-0 City.
Yeah, fucking
Yeah.
hell, he jumped
Jeez
right in.
Louise.
3-0 City, says James.
That's why I went for on Forever Arsenal. Listen, I'm feeling more positive about it now. I don't know why, something in my brain's clicked, but I've gone for it on Forever Arsenal, so I'll stick with my
3-0,
guns, but-
they never really get that. There's never really that much of a gap in the result. I'm sure against City
Really?
in the past season. Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's been a 2-0. I think they sometimes
They beat us 1-0 last year, but the year
Yeah.
before 3-0. The year before that,
last year was 2-0 as well. 1-0 and 2-0.
3-0 the year before that. I'm trying to remember. 3-1 the year before that. Yeah.
So you're going 3-0.
No, they
all
batter
right.
us.
Mad. Turkish.
3-1 Man City.
Right. Okay.
That's me being positive. That's
Yeah,
me
I-
adding the one for positivity.
I was-
I want to go.
What a bloke.
Thank you, man. I try. I try. I really do try.
Me, I'm just gonna go with a simple 1-0. I think City always take pity on us. It sounds mad to think, but I think they score, they get the job done, they're very efficient, but they don't really Like last season, I thought they could have really battled us, but they didn't seem like they wanted to score more than I think I'm sure it was 2-0 or the 1-0. So yeah, I think again 1-0 to City. Well, no one's got Arsenal.
Listen, a father never likes to embarrass their son, you know. So I get what you're saying. People, let us know in the comment section below what your score predictions are, lineups, all of that. Yeah, give us all of that, people. Love for the love as always. Hit the like button, share. Love and peace. We're out.